So, well, so in to answer that, at first I didn't think of what it was that has struck me, but actually, I think it was last night. I realized that there are a series of people that I whose work I've always been very interested in, but the direct connection between each of those people's work was not clear to me. But and coming out of this process of you um, talking about these emotions and these different terms that are coming up, how art plays into it, it made me remember and try to figure out more about how those connections actually work. And one of them is the philosopher whose name is Suzanne Langer, who actually was one of Whitehead's students. And she wrote a book called Philosophy in a New Key originally, but she also wrote a book called Feeling and Form. And one of the things about her that was really interesting is she believes that undergirding all experience, the necessity of art as the earliest form of art and creativity, which are pre-logical and that earliest form of expression, it's needed in order to even think a thought, even to, and to create language. So she really makes the basis for this what I think of as a poetic foundation, which has to do with imagination as a very important incubatory uh, part of this process. And the other person who I was thinking about from the section you had asked me about is James Hillman, and he's an archetypal psychologist. And one of the things that he asks people to do is really stick to the image. And so the thing with Suzanne Langer is she's looking at the world externally and the art making that's created in the world and talking about how it is preformative, whereas on the other hand, Hillman is looking at what's happening in the mind and in our psyche when it comes to the image formations that actually are archetypal formations of thought and how that gets expressed externally in what Suzanne Langer is talking about. So it's the earlier stage, it's what happens in the mind, and then the other is what happens in the world. And then and I just part of this is was trying to make the link to show how these build on each other. And then the final thing is Christopher Alexander, who you may know in
Yes.
terms of his pattern language. And Christopher Alexander also, all of these people, the thing that runs through all three of them is the importance of feeling and emotion and its importance to how we even create the world. So when we get to Christopher Alexander, we're now looking at the built environment and design. And he is describing how there's certain places where you can feel that it's more alive and certain places that you can feel are dead.